after 10 years of homeschooling, school was becoming a drag. We want our kids to embrace the lifelong adventure of learning, so we decided to sell our comfortable suburban home and make the world our classroom. Joe, Trisha, Hannah, Sarah, Gideon, Izzy, and Penny Dog. We are doing life deliberately.
In the southwest or right hand.
We're listening to the book Undawn and Courage.
Lewis immediately agreed with Clark's judgment.
And they're talking about Lewis and Clark getting the Three Forks in the Madison River right when we were crossing the Madison River. Because today we're going to explore the Lewis and Clark Caverns in Montana.
I determined
so
to remain at
it's kind of cool being at a similar location that the book is covering right when we're there.
To give the men a chance to rest.
Well, it was about 90 years later when these caverns then finally got discovered. And that was by two local hunters, Tom Williams and Bert Cornell, came out here in November of 1892. They were kind of curious because, for one, they saw steam coming out of that hole. Our Montana winters are cold and dry. The caverns are year-round, about 40 to 50 degrees, and close to 100% humidity. With that environment difference, you have that steam coming out of that hole. Sounds like Wisconsin. You're going to feel just comfortably at home. And also, there was a snowfall the night before, so there was a snow cover on this side of the hill, except for one spot where there is that hole. So they got curious enough to hike all the way up there, look down that hole, and realize, well, before going down, let's just throw some rocks down. Might be a little safer. They listened to those rocks until they finally hit rock bottom all the way down there, what they estimated about 100 to 200 feet all the way down. Again, you're equipped for hunting out here, not for caving. So these guys made the wise choice to just turn around and come back later. Actually, Tom Williams was the only one of that duo who came back later, alongside with some other of his buddies, and more rope, and a lot more candles, which is really important because otherwise you can't see anything down there. So they let themselves down through that natural entrance all the way down as far as they could go, and turned on all these candles or lit them up, and they were just amazed by what they saw down there. None of them had ever seen anything like this before, and these formations were completely new to them. They quickly also realized, oh, probably other people want to see this as well. So they started giving very primitive tours alongside some rope initially, and then they also quickly realized, yeah, this is above our pay grade. We're cowboys and ranchers, no tour guides, and definitely no cavemen. So they approached Dan Morrison. If any one of you have come off the interstate off the west side through Cardwell, you might have noticed this huge hole on the side of the mountain. That was Dan Morrison's limestone quarry. He put the limestone into cinder blocks and sent that off as building material. So he knew what to do with the hole in the mountain. He also had a great business idea once he looked at those formations as well. He had the men to hire and the money to pay them. So he came back and had his men build a spiral staircase of 2,000 wooden steps all the way down.
Oh my word.
Yeah, wood in a wet environment. Let's just put that thought aside. He was a great businessman. He had his ads in the newspapers all over the region and across the country, so he attracted a lot of people to come all the way out here. They got onto the train in Butte. You paid up front back in the day. He only wanted at least 20 people. So he had to have $1 per person to start this tour. If you then just showed up with 4 people, he still had the money, so he was not losing out. You might have. So you paid $1, got onto that train to get all the way over there where I guess there's some cattle also. In that bend of the river, and there's a wooden structure. That was the train station. So you got all the way out here. Just imagine early 1900s, all of our wonderful outfits right now that are much more friendly and useful to go hiking. These guys didn't have that luxury. And also you dressed up because you're on a trip. So some of these outfits were not very comfortable. You walked all the way up here. Had to scale up these 1,400 feet in elevation gain to get to that hole down the rope. Then you got onto that wooden staircase that started all the way up there. After those 2,000 steps that you tackled all the way down, whilst carrying your picnic basket and a glass lantern, actually only every 3rd person would have gotten lucky enough to carry a glass lantern. Got all the way down to the bottom of that staircase. Then you got down on your bum, most likely, alongside some rope and down some ladders to get to your lunch spot. Once you had your lunch, you came all the way back up, over those 2,000 steps, out that hole, down the valley, back to the train station, got back onto the train, and then back to Butte. That was an ordeal of about 10 to 12 hours, and you can just imagine how quiet that train ride back to Butte was. Snoring. Yeah, the snoring probably.
Normally after drier winters, we'd be waiting anywhere between 10 to 20 seconds for a water droplet coming down here. So we are still taking out of that account from a lot along that winter. Okay, well let's get to the names here. What are the formations are we looking at? Stalagmite or stalactites? Mite. Yes, the stalagmite might hit the ceiling. Up top we have the stalactites holding on tightly to the ceiling. My name was Sarah. I hope you had a great time exploring our geology down here. I also hope you might have found a deeper appreciation of the hard work by the young members of the CCC and then later on also by the MCC. They did a lot of work for our public lands and they deserve some appreciation for sure. It's going to be a half-mile flat trail back. We'll see what the weather's like. Yes. I hope it's not raining.
this is the end of the Lewis and Clark Cavern hike. And it really has nothing to do with Lewis and Clark, other than Lewis and Clark would have gone up the Jefferson River right there. And I think it was Roosevelt who named this Lewis and Clark Caverns. It's now part of the Montana State Park system, but it was a great hike.
Oh, it's like in the old house.
That was a really,
we never went anywhere.
really sweet cave tour. So worth the 2-hour drive to get here. So worth the 2-hour tour. So worth the 2 hours back. Definitely got to check out the Lewis and Clark Caverns.
I could do that.
Izzy, what did you think of the cave hike today?
It was really good. I really liked the part where there's like the huge thing from top to bottom.
The stalactites and stalagmites?
And like, I think it was the Eiffel Tower, I think?
Yeah.
And it had the small Tower of Liberty.
Yeah. All right, kid. What'd you think of the cave tour?
I honestly thought it was amazing.
Amazing?
Amazing. I've never seen anything like that ever.
Would you recommend other kids do it?
I would definitely recommend anybody else do it, unless you're I forgot what it's called, like claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Unless you're claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, this is not for you.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Just walking around the cave, seeing all the stalagmites and stalactites. That was pretty cool. There are some pretty tight squeezes that you have to go through, so watch out for those. You also have to duck down a lot. So, well, unless you're me, because I'm short, so I can just basically just walk through all of it. Some parts I had to bend down, and I'm only like 4 feet tall, so you have to bend down pretty low.
So if you're kid-sized, it's perfect.
The good size is perfect.
If you're daddy-sized, it's a little tight.
Yeah, if you're Izzy sized though, it's a piece of cake. So, I thought it was pretty fun myself. It's like 41, 42, somewhere in the low 40s or high 30s. But it's about that same temperature.
Yeah, the temperature was cold in there.
It was almost the exact same temperature inside the cave as it was outside. So I do recommend bringing a jacket and long pants and tennis shoes or gym shoes, whatever you call it. And I don't know about a hat. I mean, I have a hoodie, and I thought that was good enough. So, but if you want to bring a hat, you can. Mittens, I don't think you need either. So, but it's cold, but it's worth it. It's a 2-mile hike. It's a 2-hour hike. But they do a really good job explaining everything.
Yeah. How was the tour guide?
The tour guide was amazing. So, have fun.
What time of year is it?
Pumpkin spice latte time.
Pumpkin spice lattes!